All of our investigations have been completed to the best of our abilities. There is no longer any time to find out any more information. What is the ultimate soldier? I kind of think the ultimate soldier is Kyoko, actually. Because I never learned what Kyoko's ultimate thing is. But I kind of imagine that given Kyoko's abilities and familiarities with dead bodies, she might be the ultimate soldier. But that's somehow forgotten it and was only listed in her file. I'm not sure. We're going to figure this out. Though the ultimate soldier, to our knowledge, was a member of the Fenrir Mercenary Corps. Supposedly a mercenary group so powerful that they had to disband to protect themselves. So, because of all the government secrets they knew from International. But what does that mean? Exactly that. She was basically like a super powerful mercenary who apparently one member of the Fenrir Corps was the equivalent to an entire platoon of regular soldiers. If that is Kyoko, that's just impressive. You get to start with Yasuhiro. Fuck yes. Whoa, Kyoko and Makoto showed up together? Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together? Just the two of you? Huh? What? Are you jealous? Hey. Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself? What? Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second? He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I merely tensed up and prepared myself. But we stood there for 5 full minutes, waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10. Why? What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma shown up yet? Could it be... Maybe he died again? Byakuya is still alive. Yes, unfortunately. It seems like Byakuya bitch might just get out of this one alive. Oh, what should we do? Should we keep waiting here, or... Or what? Jesus! Oh, did I scare ya? Come on. I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? Monokuma murked. Monokuma murked? More like than you think. Happened once. Why? I made you wait? You've got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Huh? In other words, I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here, now can we? Huh? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? If y'all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look. Hey. I'm here, and no rule's been broken. Fucking hell, Kyoko's still alive. Kyoko? Kyoko, you're still alive. No, that's a ghost. Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right? What? But is it okay there's no particular penalty for being late? Is that right? I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? What? You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right. There's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of you. But yeah, Kyoko being back is very much a what? Because I thought she was dead. Because Kyoko was our best bet on who that body was. When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko. So, you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Ah, thank God. I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps. That's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right. Now we gotta deal with a ghost. I told you, stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator. Master, wait for me. Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But...
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So...
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed an announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Why is Toko still around if she's a serial killer? Because Toko hasn't killed anybody yet. She's been, avoiding the stereotype, in her words. Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I? In school. I mean, she was a serial killer who was never caught, so... So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you're on the second floor of the dorms, then that's where the key you found goes to?
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What? Kyoko's account has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Why does he have that?
Just a second.
Hey, what are you doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial. Okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her? That's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the door slid shut. It's a very empty elevator this time. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. Girly Pop? What do you know? Why are you calling her Girly Pop? I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. Did we kill someone? We might, honestly, Makoto might have killed someone in a fever state. IDK, man, the memes. Ah, man, I'm not hit with the memes anymore. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair. Oh, wow. Why is it...
I can't wait!
Ah, I've been waiting for this. Oh, I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. Why is it so bright? Without warning, I'm thinking you have to have an elevator to try to stop to open the doors. You make a good point, Ace. The time for pointless jokes. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed. Let's get on with the show.
Girls!
Colorful room. It's never been like this before. I remember being gold. And so the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate. A deadly class trial. Jukes. Want to save the data? Yes, save data. Alright, let's set skills before we go into this. Alright, what I want to get. Neutral liberation, what? Visible capacity. Hey, what the fuck? Why is there a sheep? This is a cult of the lamb. Actually, handiwork would be really useful. Memories float back. Kyoko is gone, and a mysterious masked body appears. The threads holding them all together begin to spin and twine into one. You know, I don't think I need this one. Vocabulary could be useful. There we go. All my SP is being used. Alright. One final class trial. Let's try this. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
What are all the question marks? What question marks? I didn't see them.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the Blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
And the skill sets. Oh, those are all things, those are all skills I don't have unlocked. Because all the skills are tied to, like, the relationships with characters, and where a lot of people are dead. I haven't been able to get their skills before they died.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Yasuhiro, Kyoko's here. It doesn't work.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost.
But she has legs and stuff.
Traditionally, ghosts do not have legs.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
I'm kind of with Byakuya on this one.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
This is your first time playing? Yes, this isn't actually my first time playing. Ghosts have legs. I mean, it depends on the ghost. Some ghosts have legs, some don't.
Her traits?
What important trait Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her? Kyoko's gloves, maybe?
I got it!
But she wears gloves.
I'm
The body
talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
Also, welcome to the chat, Ash. Hope you're having a good night.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Hero is so high in this trial, he needs to stop smoking. I mean, there's a person literally standing right in front of him that he's convinced is a ghost. And I believed Hero has been high through all of this game.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
I think they were wearing gloves before.
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way that corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to... Alright. Make your argument. Tattoo on the right hand, exploded body analysis, fake nails. Alright.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Yeah. Fyaki has got a point on this one. I know that body isn't Kyoko's. I know I can prove it.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Okay, that wasn't it. Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that. Oh, come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that. Makes me think something weird is going on. Fucked up. Okay. What the fuck was the point of the school to begin with? I think it was literally just to torture us.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay,
Wait,
then
the fake
prove it.
nails.
Prove she's not a ghost.
How can I have nails like that and wear gloves?
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse
I
is
hit that, come on.
absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Come on. See, it seems like originally Hope's Peak was an official school, but then there was some tragic event that happened that killed a large portion of the school base, and the school shut down. But sometime between that event happening, Monokuma, or whoever the mastermind is, took over the school, and is now using it as a death game for his own interest, I think.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been.
There you go, finally hit it.
That's wrong.
Break!
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life.
Ooh, fancy.
If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
True, though.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Sprinkler exploded button, tapped on the right hand. Alright.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
Maybe we can, though.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, hey, Yosh. I'm doing good.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
We're just here playing some Trigger Happy Havoc. It's the finale of Danganronpa. Take off one glove. He's so smart. I mean, yeah, just take off one glove just to confirm.
What? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Understandable. Have a nice night.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
Yes, Sahiro, you're not helping right now.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Toko, why do you bring your fantasies into a court of law?
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information we have, the victim's identity should become clear. Alright, where's it to? Mukuro Ikusaba. That's what we need.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Ace, you squished my head. Why? Why am I squished? I'm like a stress doll now.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... Am I really about to do this for a wolf? Hangman's Gambit. It's a wolf, come on. Give me a W. Give me an F. Come on, give me an F. Wait, what? There we go.
Now I understand.
Skew you.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf face.
Why? They're only giving me whys.
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A what?
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
But why? Who murdered?
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
But then who's controlling Monokuma?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
But she wasn't. She was the ultimate soldier.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description.
So who is the ultimate despair then?
All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
Oh.
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
Is that who you thought? Right? Yeah, I was thinking it had to be Mukuro. But I wasn't sure if she was the ultimate soldier or the ultimate despair because of like the conflicting info.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost.
Damn, Monokuma wants this solved.
Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
Damn, he's staking his name.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation.
You know what? Very mature of you, Monokuma.
Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
But how?
Wait, no. There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along.
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be two suspects. Me and Kyoko.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden.
That glug glug.
However,
I need water.
Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
Even if I'm not getting flooded right now, I need water to keep my voice going.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis...
Or while you were in it. There you go. Thank you, Ace. That's 3. Excuse me. I'll keep my voice going, but thankfully I'm not doing too much chatter right now. I'm just letting the voice actors do the work.
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock.
Rub those brain cells together, Yasuhiro, you can do it.
So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? When she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered? That was 9 o'clock, yeah?
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Sometime between 12 and 9. Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock. So it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay. We'll get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 and 9. I don't have an alibi from 10 till 7:30. Okay then. Looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Well, there was a whole tarp thing. So the body should have been wet if it was there before 7, right?
We've established a time frame for the murder.
Sprinklers.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Okay, it didn't work there. Damn it. Alright.
Shoot!
I didn't think I have one more time. I'll see a contradiction in there somewhere.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Something happens in the garden at the same time every morning. Thinking back, the corpse is almost totally dry. In which case, I should be able to figure out when the body must have appeared in the garden.
We've established a time frame
I
for
guess
the
it'll be
murder.
this one.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
I'm messing this up. What am I trying to do here?
We've established a time frame for the murder.
Fragments of the dead body.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Alright, when's... I guess I have to maybe float a body analysis
time
at
frame for the murder.
10:30. Right time.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
Why is it not working? What? You think there's some mistake lurking in what I said?
Shoot!
We've
Maybe I have to do
established
the
a time frame
sprinklers.
for the murder. It took place somewhere between...
There we go, finally.
No, that's wrong. Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Yeah, because we sprayed it with water.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet?
What?
How dare you spew such indecent words?
Toko, that's not how the conversation went.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Hey, what?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I have to have a... I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it. If you look at the body itself, that should make it clear. Is it time for a bullet time? The moment of truth.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything!
There we go. Got her.
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
Exploded body.
Prove it.
Honestly, an easier bullet time. She didn't use the... what's it called? Yeah, it hides
Just
it all.
remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers.
This game confuses me, but I'm glad you know what's going on. Hey, that's what I'm here for. I'm the guy through the story. I'm like that, like the courtroom chronicler that's like writing down everything that happens.
The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
I don't understand her logic at all.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, let's do that.
The reason only the top half was wet was because
Because we threw water on it to stop the fire.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
Thank you, Hero.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
That's a different problem we have to figure out. Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever.
What?
Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Why though?
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
Yes, Hero, it's never been that simple.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
What?
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
There was that tarp. A certain something at the seams used to cover the body. Could it have been... Where's that tarp, too? The tarp.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean.
But why wouldn't there be a blood stain on it, then?
This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Oh no. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said... The tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Hold on a
By
second.
covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only
Hey,
dirty on one side
Netabara Surud. I don't know how to pronounce your name,
sprinkler got that
but
side wet.
please do not be putting
But the other
spoilers
side of
in
the
the chat. I don't mind them,
It was
but it's
totally
very rude to other
spotless,
people that are
right?
watching.
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
What do I do here? Thank you, Neta. How do I pronounce your name? Netabara Surud. Yes. Please, no spoilers. I remember the blood on the body hadn't dried yet. Byakuya even warned us not to touch it to avoid getting any blood on us. Alright, now I can actually
By
focus on
covering
this.
the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Right from the water, but not from the blood. Yes, I see. So what you're saying is, I have absolutely no idea.
Shoot!
I need to think about it one more time. Alright.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Okay, I'm gonna get dirty. I think I know what I'm doing now. Okay.
By
I don't
covering
need
the
that
body
one.
with the tarp,
I need
the killer prevented
body
it from
for the
getting wet.
explosion, probably.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler
Relatable.
got that side wet.
What's relatable?
The underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
How did I miss that? Fuck's sake. Okay. Alright.
By covering the body with the tarp,
The killer prevents.
So the reason that is because the spring.
But the underside, it was totally.
It's because that side.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
There we go. Finally hit the
No,
mark.
that's wrong.
Break.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
But when would they have time for that?
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Camouflage? Huh? The blood was camouflage? How does that
What
work?
if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
Oh, the nurse's room. It has blood bags in there.
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time.
What?
The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
The chicken! We were missing a chicken! They got blood from right there in the garden, right? Which must mean... Where's that chicken? Chicken coop chickens!
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
You know what? I like this logic.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I mean, it was a coat.
I think so. Wait.
Actually, the
no.
sleeves.
The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Wait, is it backwards?
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
What? I followed you directly. What do you mean?
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
This is getting rough for me. And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguise dead bodies and add to the true blood section of your handbook.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Yeah, so here, you know, 50-50 on life or death.
Oh,
See? Pretty good idea, right?
Yeah, why not mention the lack of her alibi? Hello? I mean, I guess the idea is because... I don't know. I think that the thing there is, if Kyoko is suspecting Makoto, at the very least she wants both of them to not have an alibi for this. So if she doesn't have an alibi of her own where she hasn't been with anybody, she wants to make sure that there's somebody else who also doesn't have an alibi. She might be doing this just to make sure the trial keeps going and keep conversation going. Because if it ever comes a point where we have one person with a motive and no alibi, people are just going to want to vote them off. So I think that's the game Kyoko's playing here, because I feel like Kyoko trusts Makoto.
no, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
Are they finally realizing that was the knife that Makoto had?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
That Kyoko said to give to him. Kyoko, who also did just state she has a tool that can get into any locked room. So Kyoko technically could have gotten into our room and taken the knife.
The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Make your argument. Not sure how to do with this
The
one.
knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
I mean, you were the last person.
Getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
Wait a
You
minute.
took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
Stab, stab.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Hold on. Was it what killed her, though? I've already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means when the knife was thrust through the coat into the body. Alright.
The knife we found lodged in the dead...
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
But that's what I was
I
thinking.
was afraid of that.
I was pretty sure the knife wasn't the
If
thing
he
that
did
killed
have
her.
that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Alright, no, that was not it. I'm running out of hearts, man.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Objection! Break!
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it. In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
So what did kill her then?
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. Monokuma file?
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Hero, you need to stop smoking before the trial.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her.
We don't know what did.
Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Oh?
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
You're using the gray matter too much there, Yasuhiro.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
That's called overthinking.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. The fragments.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
It was the bomb in Monokuma.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
A Monokuma bomb.
Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Of course, it's actually called a Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that
It's Kyoko.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
Also, when would Kyoko have had time to get the bomb? We were all in the gym with that thing.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
I think it will, Byakuya. We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. What do we got here? Make your argument. I have one bullet.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Yeah,
The
that's true.
explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Was she?
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Hold up. The knife was a cover-up. Those other wounds on her body weren't fresh, which only leads.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
She was dead when the explosion
And it
happened.
wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was
fucked
hit
it
on
up.
the back of her head.
Shoot!
I did that one more time. Okay, fuck. I don't know where the contradiction is here.
Then shall we continue the debate?
There's probably gonna be something where you like
The
take something
victim's
that's been...
fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
Okay, dumb dishes. Oh, hell yeah,
It
Ace.
wasn't because of the knife, right?
Responsible Ace.
And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire
That doesn't
body.
apply. So maybe the hit on the head.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury.
Okay, there we
No, that's wrong.
go. Sometimes LMFAO squish. Yay!
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
She was a soldier. She already had those
The
ones.
Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Damn it, Yasuhiro.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Metal pipe, you say?
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
No, that would have been a puncture wound.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
I'm thinking of force with that.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
Oh, damn.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and spit on it.
Damn.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Guys, can we bring it back to the trial at hand to try and save all of our lives?
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon. Actually not sure. These arrows, maybe?
I got it!
How?
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her.
Toko, please. Chicken! Imagine that. Get hit in the back of the head by an actual chicken, and that's what kills you. Went out to death by chicken.
And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
They're not really like metal pipes, though.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Yeah, it's not really a metal pipe, and against more of like a puncturing weapon.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. That bloody duct tape. And the woodblock key.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
It was just that titanium arrow wouldn't be nearly thick enough, which is why they used
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Okay, not there.
Shoot!
I'm gonna run out of hearts.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker. I have no doubt that was the murder
Are
weapon.
you sure?
You don't sound convinced.
Well, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
If they
Talking back
tape
to
them
Master.
together,
You have no right!
it was an 8 arrow if they taped all the arrows together.
The
That's what I'm gonna
titanium
take.
arrow. It was in the dojo. I have no doubt that was the murder
Are
weapon.
you sure?
You don't sound convinced.
Well, because in the mon, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe. It seems like an arrow would just...
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Multiple arrows? Oh, my fail. Yeah, pretty much. They just taped a bunch of arrows together.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks.
Aesop's Fable? I don't know that one.
One stick is weak, but put them together and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Oh, that one. I do know that one, actually.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
You have been, though.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Also, we met Kyoko in the dojo once.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. Let's connect to that dojo locker. I mean, we have the woodblock key.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
Oh, fuck.
And how does that prove anything?
We found it in your room.
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle.
The thing is, Kyoko didn't have the key to her own room, so how would she have put it there?
Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
Was that the key?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just... there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something.
Sussy.
Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
My heart. Thank you.
What?
Keep did the moida. Oh no. I gotta run before the cops get me. The RCMP's gonna break down my door. She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue? Could that be when... which would mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
She was stealing your knife, fool! What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Make your argument. When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Drama!
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer.
What do you mean?
You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
He fully would.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Wait, Kyoko gave her room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean...
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in.
But you're not telling us about the master key you have.
Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There's a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this... This just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie? Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Is there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. The Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko. But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The Mastermind's trap. The victim was Mukuro, and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap? If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I decide right now, right here and now, whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. Fuck, I have a choice here. Literally, there's no way I trust anyone who has gotten this far. I want to trust Kyoko, though. I want to. Like, everything she's done has been to try and figure out the mystery of this place. She's been consistent about that. I might regret this. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the Mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal?
But why is she hiding key evidence right now? Literally, unless I fucking asshole.
Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Technically, he could have. Because he said he had his own stuff to do when we were investigating. He could have gone into Kyoko's room first before... Wait, no, he stayed in the garden. Never mind.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What?
Oh, no.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Oh, wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
I mean, there is, but you haven't mentioned. I decided not to share it.
A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you?
Oh, Monokuma.
Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the Mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
Oh, that's different.
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you.
Can I vote for Monokuma? Is that an option?
Voting time?
I don't even get to vote. I got coins for that?
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Monokuma, you POS on God.
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Well, coins for your death, LMFAO. You know what? Fair enough. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You've got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job?
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. Excuse me? No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials. And I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills, kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment. Oh, wait, why do I... Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
This is weird. Makoto has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. What the heck is all of this? After school lesson? What's that purple thing? Alter ego! This is so much better society. We're getting smushed. Not yet. We have the power of AI. Where are we going?